Lesson 27 project help video. Refer to your answers in the Lesson 26 project. As the bridge is being raised one day, it gets stuck halfway, where its angle of elevation is theta divided by 2. Remember that tangent of theta equals 3/4 when the bridge is fully raised. What is sine of theta over 2? Well, if you look at your half angle identities, the half angle identity for sine of theta over 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 1 minus cosine theta divided by 2. So we have this plus or minus out in front. If we are dealing with a bridge that is being raised upwards, and our sine is the side that it's getting, the side of our triangle, if we had a triangle of our drawbridge here, remember that our sine is the side here, where this side, where the x is that I just put, is the drawbridge raising up. So sine is how far off the ground our drawbridge is. So we can't have a negative distance. So that means that we're only going to have the positive square root. And then if you look back at lesson 26, in my lesson 26 project help video, I found that cosine theta equals 4/5. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to plug that in. So I now have the square root of 1 minus 4/5 divided by 2. I need a common denominator on top, so my common denominator is 5, so I'm going to change the 1 to be 5/5, minus 4/5, all of that divided by 2, equals, you get the square root, 5/5 minus 5 minus 4 is a 1, denominator stays a 5, and our real denominator stays a 2. So now we have a fraction divided by a number, so we're going to keep the top one. Change from division to multiplication, flip over the bottom. So if we have just 2, that's the same as saying 2/1. So when we flip that over, we get 1/2. Multiply my tops and bottoms, so 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 2 is 10. Take the square root of the top and the bottom. Square root of 1 is 1. I don't know what the square root of 10 is. So I now have 1 over the square root of 10. But I can't have a square root in my denominator, so I need to rationalize this. To rationalize it, I need to multiply the top by square root of 10. I need to multiply the bottom by square root of 10. So when I multiply the top, 1 times square root of 10 is the square root of 10. Square root of 10 times square root of 10 would be the square root of 100. If I multiply 10 times 10 gives me 100. Square root of 100 would be 10. Also, if you're multiplying the square root of 10 times the square root of 10, that's the same as saying that this is squared, and your squared and square root would cancel out. So my final answer for what is the sine of theta over 2, the sine of theta over 2 is square root of 10/10. Refer to your answers in the lesson 26 project. After the malfunction of the bridge, the queen considers what would happen if they double the maximum angle of elevation for the drawbridge. What is sine of 2 theta? So if we look at our double angle identity, sine of 2 theta equals 2 cosine theta times sine theta. Now if you look at lesson 26, you will remember that what you got. So for my lesson 26 project help video, I had that the cosine of theta, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, was 4/5. And the sine of theta I found to be 3/5. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is a 24, and in my denominator 5 times 5 is 25. Now it wants me to reduce my fraction if I can. 24/25 I cannot reduce anymore, so my sine of 2 theta is just 24/25. Hope this helps with your lesson 27 project.